What up, guys? I'm former UFC fighter and current owner of Easton Training Center, Elliot Marshall.
I'm Scott Nickel, teaching pastor at Flatirons Community Church.
Scott, am I fucking going to hell?
Yes.
Welcome to the Saint
And the Sinner.
Hi guys, welcome back to Saint and the Sinner.
Who knows? Not even counting anymore.
I think it's
right?
21.
Is it really 21?
21 or 22, something like that.
I bet you Hank knows better than us, but he's the one that has to do all the fucking work.
21, yeah. He does.
We're legal.
Yeah.
All right.
That's right. Hey, it's our drinking age.
Fuck yeah.
Coffee. Nice. It's our Christmas edition. It's December. We're now doing these once a month to let all you slow people catch up.
Yep.
Hey, this morning, so I stopped to get coffee. Normally I don't, and then I gripe at you about not having a way to have coffee. But I specifically did it so I would be in the car longer so I could listen to that Serial podcast. Have you guys listened to this thing? Serial podcast. It's the #1 podcast right now.
Okay, so this is how good this podcast is.
Careful, I'm only on episode 6.
I'm not going to say anything. This is how good the Serial podcast is. So the #1 podcast in the world before this were like Radio Lab, Ted, and then This American Life, right? Yeah. And these shows have been around for over a decade. Yeah. So they have had a lot of time to be the #1 podcast in the world. Serial is 10 episodes long and the #1 podcast in the world.
It's by
Sarah Koenig, who's from this first season is paid for by This American Life in Ira Glass.
This next season's paid for by Elliot Marshall.
Some of it. That's right. Some of it.
Ended up.
Hell yeah, man.
I probably will too.
You are going to too. I told you you're going to. Wait, it's going to be episode 9, and they do their little MailChimp thing.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And then she's going to get on there and be like, "So this is the only time I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask you for money," and you're going to be like, "Shit, I'm going to go give some money."
Yeah.
I'm all trying to tell him he's not that into it. And I was like, "Did you donate money?" He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Well, then you're pretty fucking into
money
it."
And he's not that into
it. No, he's lying to himself that he's not that into it. Of course he's that into it. If you give money to something, you're pretty fucking into it.
My buddy Troy at my gym, he was like, "Yeah, I listened to the first episode. I haven't listened to any since." I'm like, "What?" That's what I said. He must just not be into mysteries.
If you're into like Dateline NBC or 48 Hour Mystery, like those shows on TV,
which I don't watch. I don't watch those, but if I did, I'd probably get into it.
It is an in-depth one of those.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so good.
And I go back and forth. I keep going back and forth on whether this kid's guilty or not.
What episode are you at?
He's guilty right now.
You think he's guilty?
Yeah, but the last episode I listened to was the one about how guilty he is, like all the mounting evidence against him.
Right.
So everybody knows, it's like, just to give you a brief, it's about this murder case from 1999 with these high school kids, and this kid's been in jail for 15 years now for a crime that, who knows, maybe, I don't know yet. Maybe he committed, maybe he didn't. But it's intriguing because this lady's picked up this case and she's gotten into all this evidence and she does all these interviews and it's fantastic. It's really, really well done. So that's been my Christmas season time spent listening to a murder mystery.
Comes out on next episode comes out on Thursday. I'm excited.
Oh, is it every Thursday?
Every Thursday it comes out. Yeah.
Nice.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, I don't listen to too many podcasts, but because I don't have long enough commutes.
I do, yeah. So I have to drive to Denver all the time.
So I have like these 5 to 10 minute drives, and all that does is frustrate me.
Because you want to listen more.
Yeah, so I'm like sitting at the gas station, like inside the car with it, the battery running, so I can keep listening.
I listened to one the other day called Radio Labs called Patient Zero. Did you listen to it?
Yeah, it's a rerun.
Yeah, but they added the Ebola onto it,
But yeah, that was like the first one I ever listened to.
It was so good. So good.
About Patient Zero for
AIDS. They did the AIDS thing.
Did they say, so maybe this is an urban myth. I always heard that it was a flight attendant.
No, so they tracked it all the way back to the monkey that it came from.
Okay.
And 2 monkeys. So two monkeys with 2 different strands, and then it went from a monkey to a chimp, and then the chimp to us, and it came to us in 1908.
And how did it get from a chimp to a human?
Hunting. You cut your finger, cut the chimp. Okay. The hunter in Africa, the guy was hunting, cut his finger while hunting. The blood went, blood, and then he got either gave it to somebody or got to a big city. And it spread, and then there it was. First case in America, 1959.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So we obviously didn't know that back then.
The flight attendant was a cocksucker. Yeah, literally and figuratively.
Like, spread it all over the
world. Fucked so many people, knowing that he had.
Knowing that he had it?
Yeah, knowing that he had it.
So when was
We had
that?
fucked 1980s, I don't know, early 1980s, French Canadian guy.
That's what I was about to say. Had to be United because those people are terrible people. Have you ever flown international? Well, you have.
Yeah.
That'll probably get us into your story. International United, man. The flight attendants, they only have to fly like once a month. They're all over the age of 75, and they all hate
Oh, I had
people.
great flight attendants.
What? I've never had a good one.
Really good-looking girls?
No.
With big tits and nice
No, you're
asses?
just making that
No,
up.
I'm not,
Because
man.
you were flying
I was going to Brazil. They're all Brazilian, man.
Yeah. Listen, when you fly to Europe, that's not what you're getting.
Yeah, well.
They're so mean to anybody who's not from the United States. Like,
Dude.
blatantly. It's unbelievable.
Really?
If you don't speak English, they get so mad at you.
These girls were good-looking.
It's like Pan Am
man.
from 1958.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell everybody about your terrifying flying experience?
I definitely don't believe in God.
Yeah, Elliot's
I definitely don't believe. So we're flying, and I'm asleep. It's the middle of the night, flying from Houston to Rio, and all of a sudden, just 10 seconds of free fall.
And so everybody listening or watching right now should slowly 1,000, 2,000, count to 10.
Yeah.
And imagine a roller coaster, that feeling.
In a plane.
For 10 seconds.
For 10 seconds. The only thing holding you down is your seatbelt.
Yeah.
People are screaming, going nuts.
And you said some people hit the roof.
So what happened, so anyway, it ends, I turn around, I see the lady crying behind me, and this lady cried for the rest of the flight. And they say nothing over the microphone.
There's no, ladies and gentlemen,
sorry about
that. You almost died.
They say nothing except we need a doctor. That's all they say, because somebody wasn't in their seat and they went up and hit their head. And I look, you look up and you know how on international flights, long ones, they tell you how long you have still. We had 5 hours still, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
So anyway, you had enough time to be like, this is it, like this checkmate here, this checkmate for me, And I didn't pray, and I didn't even think to pray or anything. So I don't believe in God, which doesn't mean I'm right or wrong, just me. So anyway, and all of you are going, well, it probably wasn't 10 seconds. It was probably more like 4.
It probably wasn't. But
it probably, yeah, who knows? But
enough to terrify you.
This is how bad it was I had a friend on the plane, and we don't speak often. We just see each other when we see each other. And I saw her last week, and she's a frequent flyer from United, and United sent her an email apologizing for the turbulence and gave her 10,000 free miles.
Yeah, I want to hear from any of our listeners if they've ever even heard of that, because that's pretty amazing.
It was bad. Like you were like, this is like, so it was really scary.
I thought of you when you told me that, because the last time I flew was since then.
Right.
And I'm the person who kind of defiantly never wears a seatbelt. Like, I want to leave on my phone and don't.
Oh, you're my wife.
Yeah, I do.
You're my wife,
do all that
man.
Just because for whatever reason, it's my little stick.
Fuck you to the man, yeah.
And but it made me rethink it, because if you're just sitting there and you're sleeping or you're just chilling or whatever, and that happens, you're on the roof.
Yes. So I flew again 2 weeks later, a week and a half later, and I did not fucking take my seatbelt off. I was checking my kids all the time, because the kids are all over the place. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Should I tell my other story, Simon?
That's a good story.
All right.
Have you guys heard this story?
No, they have not heard this story.
So for anybody with kids, this is one
epic.
of your just this is as bad as it gets.
This is as bad as it gets. So,
well, it can get worse, but this is
okay. Okay, this is as bad as it gets, and then you have a really good story afterwards. This isn't This isn't as bad as it gets, right? This is as bad as it gets, and
everybody's okay.
And now we're going to sit here and really laugh about this, right? So, we're in the San Jose airport, coming back from Hawaii, because we don't fly direct to Hawaii, because if you fly direct, then you have to fly direct back, and you have to do it over the night, and that's miserable with children. That's miserable without children, and then way miserable.
It's like 8 hours minimum.
So we're in the airport. They call us to line up for Southwest, and you know how Southwest is. No assigned seating, right? So the families go on after A, so they all can sit together. So they call family boarding. We go to line up. Simon has this little look at us. His stomach has been a little upset for the last couple of days because he's been drinking pool water, swimming and everything. He proceeds to diarrhea out his diaper. out the diaper, out the clothes.
Like what?
He's 16 months at the time. You know.
Yeah.
So there's no warning. He can't tell you, right? There's a puddle on the floor of the airport like this, right? And it's still coming out.
Are you in line?
No, we're going away. Yeah, we're on our way.
Okay.
You know? So it's still coming out. So my wife and I look at each other, and she picks him up and runs to the family bathroom with him. So there's a trail of shit through the airport of like 50 feet, it's long,
So I just picture it being just like fireworks.
Yeah, it's just dripping, man. It's dripping. It's on her. It's a little bit on me, But luckily, when we had Kanan, and on an airplane once, he peed on both of us.
Yeah.
So we are very prepared for this situation. We have a pair of clothes for everybody in the family in my backpack. So it's not going to be too terrible, right? So I'm digging through the backpack, and all of a sudden I see this lady come up. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. She doesn't stop. She stops right in the pile of poop, right? And she looks at me, and she goes, what's that? And I'm like, yeah, that's poop. And she goes, oh God, what do I do? And I'm like, get out of it. And she's like,
step one.
She's like, how? I'm like, step over there. Get out of the poop, lady. So she has poop on her now. So I find the clothes and I go to the bathroom, and there's just shit everywhere. Just the whole bathroom is just covered in poop.
Well, didn't you say that you walked in and they're both naked?
Renee's butt naked, right? All of her clothes are off, right? And she's trying to clean Simon up, And I see the situation, and I start trying to clean the bathroom up a little bit, because how can you clean somebody where there's poop? So we start getting in an argument, but she's like, forget about the damn bathroom, who cares? Clean the kid. And I'm like, how can you clean the damn kid? You're putting him down in the sink full of shit. So we're arguing.
And meanwhile, where's your 5-year-old?
My 5-year-old is sitting in the chair right where I told him to sit, watching the bags.
Bags are not unattended.
No. So long story short, we get them all cleaned up. Everyone has fresh clothes on. His clothes went in the trash. We make the plane. Good to go.
Oh.
I couldn't imagine if it was like 30 minutes later. If it was on the plane, they would have had to land it because the shit would have gone everywhere in the plane. Like, it wasn't like it would have just stayed in this confined. Like, he would have shit on people, on the flight attendants, all over the seats. It would have been terrible. And diarrhea is not like the funnest thing to smell.
No. No. Did you hear about the whole U.S. Air thing?
No.
Recently? So this is the second time U.S. Air has had.
It's a good thing my wife doesn't listen to this podcast. She gets pissed when I tell the story.
Yeah. It's a great story.
It's such a good story. It's so funny. Well, and she's like, you didn't get shit on. And I was like, yeah, good point.
I just picture people like slipping and falling in the airport, like, because people are oblivious, and kids are worse. Like, when I used to work with elementary age kids, the amazing thing about kids is, like, first of all, they cannot anticipate when they're going to throw up.
Yeah.
They can't. Like, it's just, and I don't know when that kicks in.
I can't either. No,
Landry kinda. She's 11.
It hasn't kicked in on me yet.
Hasn't kicked in on you?
Man, I miss a lot, bro.
You'll just throw up
in
the living room?
You never heard this one? No. Oh, fuck, this is a good one.
Like the Body Fluids podcast.
I like that.
So, I just had ACL surgery. It's just like 2003. Right? So I just had ACL surgery, and I'm sick. And I'm downstairs in, where we were living on the toilet, being sick.
Because of the surgery? Or
no, independent.
Oh, that's terrible.
Independent.
Yeah.
So I'm not moving so well, right? So I'm on the toilet.
Yeah.
And it's coming up.
Yeah.
And I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're going both ways.
So I am getting up to try to turn around.
Yeah.
But my knee doesn't work so well. Yeah. So I fall down in the bathroom, right? And just start vomiting everywhere. Just hitting the bathtub and spewing everywhere. And I can't get up now either.
Your legs are bracing, your pants are
yeah, my pants are on my ankles. And I'm just throwing up everywhere. So I just go, Renee!
Who is a trained medical professional.
Yeah, and she comes down, she opens the door, and she looks at me. And she goes, what the fuck is the matter with
you? She didn't just shut the door or she helped you.
And she looks at me and she goes, why did you try to turn around? The bathtub was right there. You could have just fallen forward and just vomited it all in the bathtub. And I was like, I don't know, I couldn't make it.
You can't armchair quarterback that situation, man. You weren't there.
So, no, this is how bad I am still.
You still can't.
It just comes.
Oh, man. Well, Silas the other day, he does the deal where he's like complaining his belly's hurting that whole 9 yards, but you never know if that's an act or if it's real. And then he's laying on the sofa next to me, and then, you know, he gets up and he takes 2 steps, and I see his cheeks just go. And I'm like, oh, and sure enough, he's up, you know, and then it just all, and Eli's the, not like Holden, but Eli, if he sees or hears somebody else throw up, he starts doing that dry heave thing. So he starts going, you know, I'm like, Eli, go away, like run away. And so it's one of those things where I thought of you guys, because I thought if I pick him up and carry him, I'm just going to leave a string of vomit all over the house. So let's just stand right here and just keep it all right here, you know. So he throws up and everything, and then he was fine the rest of the night. But like kids. I remember vividly this one time I was working with 4th and 5th graders, and we're in this gym, and this kid comes over to me, and I was in the middle of teaching, and this kid's like, can I go to the bathroom? I was like, no, because I had this rule of like, after I'm done teaching is when you get to go to the bathroom, or they all raise their hand and want to go. So I'm like, no, go sit down after I'm done. He's like, okay. So then he comes up to me later, like after I'm done teaching, and he's like running towards me, and all of a sudden he like grabs his mouth and just vomit goes everywhere and sprays everywhere and everything. Kids don't see this happen. They're just in their own world. Yeah. And then there's vomit everywhere, all across this gym, and they're all just walking, slipping and falling, rolling in it, you know. So, I mean, literally with kids, you have to like stop.
Yeah.
Go, here's
don't
the
go there. Don't go there.
Go over here, or else they'll fall down in it. They'll just fall down. All right, we've taken quite an interesting turn today.
We have. This was not the plan.
This is not serious. So I do have a question for you, and I posted this on our Facebook page the other day, and it was, I wasn't trying to
stir the pot.
I wasn't trying to stir the pot. I just really wanted to know. Although you got to quit drinking and posting.
My question was very good.
It was a decent question.
The punctuation was way off. The punctuation was way off when I read it the next day.
Well, just so everybody knows, most of the time you're on your phone.
Yeah.
So there's some errors in there anyway.
I'm always on my phone doing it. So I'm really sorry. 21 episodes in. Yeah. If you haven't figured out that I do everything from my cell phone.
Right.
Did you see by the way, my post the other day that I was teaching? Right? I made this post the other day that I was teaching. I was like, hey guys,
I saw you correct.
Yeah. I was like, I'm teaching both no-gi classes today, and my phone auto-corrected say no girls classes.
Yeah. I was trying to post something on my gym's.
Sexist.
Or intentional and just blamed it on autocorrect.
Autocorrect changed dumbbells to dumb elks on me the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know what it changes a mall to?
What?
Anal.
Do you just leave it? Do you just let it go?
No.
All right. So I was Thanksgiving. I think it just happened or whatever. Which, by the way, like in my book, the Christmas thing has to wait until after Thanksgiving.
I agree. It's dumb.
We still had our Halloween decorations up a little late, granted.
Yeah.
But we had to transition from Halloween to Christmas, and our neighbors, a bunch of them had their Christmas lights up like
before
right after Halloween, way before Thanksgiving.
No.
It's just it's a hard transition.
Sacrilegious.
So anyway, I just wanted to know for all of our listeners who are agnostic, atheist, or not Christians, so whatever other religion you may be or whatever, do you celebrate Christmas?
Unfortunately, yes.
And most of them came back and said yes. Most of them came back.
And I don't say unfortunately yes because of the religious side of it. I fucking hate Christmas.
Why?
What's that?
Why?
Because it's Thanksgiving, but you have to buy shit for people.
Yeah. You're not.
And my kid's a nightmare right now because it's his birthday too.
Yeah.
Right.
Kanan's
birthday.
Yeah,
my wife. So you don't understand my wife and birthdays. My wife got her birthday taken away from her when she was 8 years old.
What?
Yeah. Her mom said no birthday this year because she did something bad. Whatever. Yeah. So she hasn't let this go. It's 30 years later. Right?
Was that forever after?
No. Just that 8-year-old birthday. You know. So, I mean, she hasn't let it go.
Yeah.
So, birthdays in my house, it's like a fucking week-long thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, he has, and this year was worth because we were on vacation right before. So, vacation, birthday for a week, Now my mom, we're going to New York on Friday, so because my mom wanted to go see the city for his birthday during the holidays, and then. Then we come back and it's Christmas. He just thinks it's all about him for a fucking month.
This is my
life. He talking to my sister on the phone the other day, talking about coming out there. He goes, "What'd you get me?" And I'm like, "Hey, asshole."
What's his birthday?
December 4th.
Yeah, Landry's is December 9th.
Yeah,
so we run into a little bit of that too. So, but you guys do celebrate Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like the candles for Hanukkah too, though.
You do that too. I was going to ask you about that. So, does it offend you when people say Merry Christmas as a Jewish person? So the whole kind of politically correct Happy Holidays, holiday tree, holiday this.
I have a Christmas tree up in the school in Denver.
Yeah. So
with a menorah.
So I'm just curious. I've never met an actual person who's offended by the phrase Merry Christmas. Have you? I just really want to know. It's one of those politically correct cultural swings that makes me swing.
I do think this though. I do think that if the government is going to have a Christmas tree, they've got it. They can't just have a Christmas tree.
Yeah,
they've got. There's and Hanukkah is the dumbest holiday in the world. It's literally it's a made up holiday for Jewish kids during Christmas.
Right.
And then all the Christians think that it's like the big one for the Jews. It's like really the fucking shit in the fucking pot one. It's terrible. Nobody cares. It's literally for the Jews to have Christmas.
Only you can say this. Yeah. No. What is Kwanzaa?
What's that?
What is Kwanzaa?
I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Do you know? You don't want to say? You don't want to say? I've never figured
It's something from Africa. It's an African thing.
I got
Which I don't understand why all the black people do it, because they're not all from fucking Africa. Most of them are from here.
Yeah, and Africa's a continent.
Yeah.
It's not a country.
I don't know what it is.
I've been there. There's a lot of diversity between the different countries.
Yeah.
It's not like you can go, this is our African holiday.
I don't know.
I'm saying this is our North and South American holiday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know what it is.
So I got a little tweak last year because I forget which one of my kids, somebody yelled at me the other day. It was like, you never know which one of your kids you're talking about. I'm like, bro, once you have 4, the water gets muddy, But one of them came home with this thing from school that said, we're studying all about these different holidays, and it was like Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all these other. I don't even remember what the other ones were. Christmas was not on the list.
Why?
And it was at Christmas time, and I was like, I couldn't care less if you're studying all of these things, but there was this big hole in the curriculum. But we're not talking. You're not going to even talk about Christmas. So I actually emailed the teacher, which I try to never do. I never want to be that person.
The pastor emailing the teacher.
I know, and it was immediately I don't want to ever do that. But I liked his teacher, and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, so I didn't have anything against it. I think it was Eli. So I was like, hey, just a question, or is Christmas going to be a part? It seemed like a glaring omission. You know what I mean? And she was like, well, most of the kids in our class already celebrate Christmas, so we're not really going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the ones that they don't understand. I was like, okay. So anyway.
Do they do Hanukkah?
Yeah, they studied that one. They studied everything.
So they didn't stay away from the religious ones?
No, it wasn't like they avoided religious ones, So you
have a legitimate beef.
I felt like it was.
Yeah, you have a legitimate beef.
It was. If we're going to look at all of them, look at all of them, So anyway, my point being.
I was going to make a joke there, but I stopped.
Yeah. Really? Filter kicked in.
Filter kicked in.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
Thanks, man.
So anyway, that's one of those cultural things that it's never been one of my big deals. Let's put up the 10 Commandments at the courthouse, and let's it doesn't bother me, But when there's certain things like the whole you're not allowed to say Merry Christmas thing that makes me want to say Merry Christmas to every store clerk I run across. You know what I mean? I think it makes people want to swing on pendulums. Because again, I've just never met the person who's actually offended by it.
It's so dumb. If you're offended by it, then put your fucking panties on.
So what's Christmas look like for you guys? What do you
it's
guys
crazy.
do?
It's nuts. We do everything that you do, probably, except not go to church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you do presents.
And trees. And lights. By the way, my light situation just took a shit this weekend.
Mine too, bro.
Oh my god! You did everything wrong, though. We talked about this.
No, I had more Griswold.
Yeah, man.
Night.
You did everything wrong. I did everything right.
And what?
It went bad.
Fuck. What happened?
Okay, so real fast, everything right and everything wrong. Before you put the lights on the house, because I've done it wrong, you have to plug each one in to make sure they all work, right? You know, which he did not know. And I found this out the hard way too. One year, not only did I not check if they worked, I put them up, and I put them up fucking backwards. So at the end, I was female, and I'm like, fuck. So I take them all down, and then I put them up correctly, and then they don't fucking work. So I'm 4 hours out there doing Christmas lights one year, right? So I made this mistake. So, you know, so now I check everything. Everything works, right? Everything works. Put them up, and there's just a few, there's just one little section that's out. So I go over to it, and I start jiggling it, because you got to see what's the problem, and the whole, all of them out. All of them out. And I was like, what the fuck, man?
It's the worst moment. It's the worst moment ever. It's so horrible.
So I look down the end of the string, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's unplugged. You know? So I go down, I move the light down there to see if it's unplugged, and when it's not unplugged, and I look back, and I'm like, fuck, now I don't know exactly what my problem is anymore. So I blew the fuse, you know what I mean? So now I gotta go up there and change fuse by fucking fuse.
How do you change
They're tiny. What's that?
I've never changed the fuse.
I know, this is the first time you ever hung lights.
Yeah, and this is the last. So I've never hung lights, alright, except for a few, like, out on the bushes, you know, just, like, throw them out there, plug them in, you know, because growing up, just me and my mom, like...
So the atheist does more than the pastor?
Yeah, totally. Alright, like, I always split half time, right? So I'd, like, either do Christmas Eve with my mom and then Christmas Day with my dad or vice versa. So I was always, like, traveling and stuff like that, and so both places were like, you're only here for a little bit, why were we going to decorate, you know? And I was the only kid, you know? So I think my parents screwed me up. But anyway... so I never wanted to do lights, you know, it was just never that big of a deal growing up. And so, but my kids for the past several years have always been like, let's do lights, and then they end up doing some lights and it looks terrible. And so anyway, this year I was like, all right, I'm doing this. I'm going to get on the roof, I'm going to do lights. So I set aside like last Friday, you know, my day off to do lights. And so I get out all the lights, and it's totally like Clark Griswold, like they're all in a big ball and everything. I think most of them are like indoor lights and all this kind of. I did check them, but I didn't check them by doing each individual one. Like I plugged one in and then plugged one into the other, and then kept making sure that they worked.
That works.
Does that work?
That checks.
All right. Well, apparently not. So my house we just built like a year ago, so I'm not totally familiar with all the intricacies of how to get on each part of the roof, because typically I get on the back side because that's where the kids throw stuff on the roof. That's very easy because I just go in through our bathroom, which has this really big window above the tub. I can climb out, just step out onto the roof. Mm-hmm. Well, the difference between the back level and the front level are significant. So significant it would take a ladder to get from the back to the front. I realized that somebody's borrowed my ladder. So I have no ladder. I don't know who has it. And this is the day that I set aside to do the lights. So I'm like, the lights are going on this house. This is happening today, you know. So I have to climb through Landry's bathroom window out onto the front, which is about as wide as that window right there, literally. And it's tall, so I have to get on a stool and shimmy out backwards onto the roof, and then have people throw me lights from downstairs, from the driveway. And so I get out there, and last year, Allie and her parents tried to put lights up in a snowstorm and quit halfway through. So there's all these old little clips on the shingles. And so I go to and I'm hanging out over the driveway, right? And I'm like trying to hook up the lights on these clips that were pre-existent. They're all dry rotted. So everyone I touch just falls, just flicks off into the driveway. So I'm just furious at this point. And so now I'm getting more of those clips thrown up to me. I'm like, I don't like heights much either, and I get dizzy easy. So I'm like putting these things on, and I'm trying to stay as far away as possible. Well, the front part is fine, because if I slip, I'm just going to slide into the other pitch of the roof. Now, but there's this other side where...
I can't wait to go to his house again, right?
Yeah, I want to look at it. Yeah. But here's the thing, from the ground it looks like nothing.
I know, but we'll just go up on the roof.
Yeah, you're going to fit through that window. I got news for you.
What are you saying?
Yeah, you're bigger than me. So I get out on the other side, and my neighbor who's hanging lights on a ladder, like a smart person, comes literally running down the street. He's like, Scott, you can borrow my ladder. Stop. I'm like, no, it's fine. He's like, no. I tried what you were doing last year. That's terrifying. Don't do that. I was like, I had 3 more clips to put on, and they were like at the edge. You know, I'm
I'm
up here. I'm doing this, even if I fall, So he's like, okay, but if you want to borrow my ladder, you can. So I get all the clips on fine. I hang all the lights. I have the whole front of the house, and then we're on a corner lot, so the whole fence row down the side. So it looks decent. It's okay. It's not Griswold by any stretch. So I literally, as I'm putting the last strand down the fence, which is connected to one half of the roof, I connect the last strand. All the lights are on. The whole thing goes out. The whole thing goes out.
You blew a fuse.
I blew a fuse. So I kind of figure that out. I take the furthest one down, take it out. It's done. It doesn't work anymore. So now I just plug the next one in. Okay, we're good. Then I go find some more lights that work, go back to the other end, blow the whole thing again. Like, okay, so apparently this is the capacity. Like, it can't hold.
You can only put 6 of those together.
Okay, so I learned something today. so I just I've ruined some lights.
I think this is my problem too.
So I had to let it go for a few days where half the roof and the fence didn't work. So I plugged the fence into something else, so at least the fence worked, but not half the roof. I rewired everything on Friday, had everything working again, and then I come home the other day and half of them are out again.
So last year I did it the same way that I did it this year, and it worked. And now I'm blowing fuses. Yeah. So you don't have to take it all down. This is the thing.
Taking it out. When it all goes down, it's all going down.
Do you know where the fuse is?
Yeah, it's in the little plug thing, right? Yeah.
But you have to get a fucking knife, like a steak knife to get that shit out.
Well, I don't want to do that. I'd just rather buy new lights. So then Allie sent me to
buy new lights. That's what we're doing next year, yeah.
Allie sent me to buy new lights. We got in a big fight about this the other day. Sent me to buy new lights. She had these preferences of what kind of lights to get. I didn't get the right kind of lights. It was a
that shit so infuriates me, right? That shit so infuriates me. I didn't get the right kind of lights. Like, don't fuck you. They're fucking lights. Renee and I argue about this stuff all the time. I'm like, what do you care?
I'm more of the mindset of like, let's just throw lights out there and let it look like the kids helped with it. Than like, Allie wants it to look like I paid somebody, which I'm probably going to
do from next year.
So that I don't have to get out on the roof.
Take your money.
Huh?
I'll take your money.
You'll take? Will you put it out there? Really? We can do it together. We can hang lights together.
Okay.
I think Scott and I should do it together because we love it so much.
I think we'll come on location.
You should come over to my house and I'll come over to your house.
I'll fight with Renee and you fight with Allie.
Renee and I had a huge fight once doing Christmas lights. We were already fighting, and we're doing something and she bends down and I go over and she comes up and like we bumped into each other and she's like, you hit me. And we're outside. We're outside, right? In the neighborhood. And she's like, huh? I was like, huh? And she's like, you hit me. And I was like, you're kidding, right? She's like, no, you hit me. I was like, and there's people outside. I was like, oh, I hit you. You think that was hit? I was like, if you want to fucking see it, I will fucking show you hit, right? And like all the neighbors taking out their cell phone. Yeah. And I was like, oh, shit.
All the neighbors are already judgmental, like the cage fighter across the street beating his wife in the front yard. So this is the season. This episode is taking a strange turn, but I think it's good that we kind of agree on all this.
Yeah, this is fun.
Episodes.
We have.
If anybody didn't listen to the last episode with Ian, I thought that was one of the best episodes we've had. Ian was phenomenal, man.
Yeah, he's all upset. He thinks he didn't do a good job. I was like, no, man, you were good.
No, the cool thing about it was I could just listen to Ian for a while and I have to listen to you for a while.
No. I tried to just let him talk because I'm shit,
It was good. I thought he did really well.
Yeah, it was fun. My socks have an element R on them, like it matters.
I have some socks like that, and it doesn't matter.
I just got new. My wife bought me these new Nike Frees.
Yeah.
They're the most comfortable shoe I think I've ever worn. But you can't wear thick socks with them, right? Because it makes it a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I got some. So we do.
My feet are freezing.
Freezing. My feet are so cold right now.
This is Mike's fault.
Yeah, Mike. What the fuck?
It's December.
Yeah,
it's really cold out here.
And the heat doesn't work.
New rule in the office: we're not allowed.
And the heat doesn't work here.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, he's mad at me about that.
Yeah.
So my sister-in-law came this past weekend.
Yep.
And we do. Unfortunately, this is the last year though, because we've all vetoed this shit. Rather than everybody buy everybody gifts, right? You just do a sibling gift. You pick a hat, you draw the name,
in exchange
one thing.
Yeah.
But we're done with that now because nobody wants to do that shit either.
Really?
Yeah, man.
It's easier than buying everybody a gift.
Well, we're buying nobody a gift.
Oh, well, that's easier.
Just the kids. Just the kids, right? Because I don't need anything.
Right.
And if you make me think about what I want, well, I don't want to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, we talked about this. You're pretty
like, if you're going to make me think about something to buy me, I'm going to be like, oh, I want that shit. I'm going to go do that right now. You just pay me back. You know? That's how I am, you know?
Receipt. Here's your reimbursement. Like, you know? Acquisition.
Fuck yeah, man. I don't want a deal. It's stupid. I'm like a child.
Yeah. That's all right. We've established that, man.
I've never had a job. I've never had a big boy job, right?
Yeah.
I went from cage fighting to the boss.
Yeah.
Right? I have two separate things. I've never had to be like, fuck you, man. I got to go to work today. I guess I have. I worked at a pizza place.
Did you?
Worked
you were
at
a bouncer.
but the bouncer was not a job. That was fucking fun, man.
Yeah.
The shit you can get girls to do for one shot of alcohol. Crazy.
Whoa.
For $4.50 it cost at the time. Anyway, good thing my wife doesn't listen to that.
So all of a sudden you continue to. It's like, well, I wonder how deep he's going to dig this hole.
So
I'm not really sure.
No, she knows. She knows the deal.
I'm not a gift giver or receiver.
I'm terrible.
It doesn't work for me. Like I don't really get a kick out of getting gifts, and I'm not good at giving gifts. And neither is Allie, so it makes that difficult. But it's fine if you both like kind of take the pressure off a little bit, I guess.
Renee and I don't do it.
Yeah.
No, we don't do it. She
Allie always tells me what she wants, but it's always something that like she has to go get.
Yeah.
Like it's something that she's gonna have to try on. It's something she's gonna have to pick out. I asked her this year. She's like, I want a new chair for the living room. I'm like, I'm never allowed to pick that stuff out. So where's the fun in you telling me?
Yeah.
You know, here's what I bought.
I don't give a rat's ass.
She'll wrap up things she's bought for herself.
Really?
Yeah. So she'll go buy her, like for example, she'll go buy herself a sweater.
And
wrap it up and go.
Say it's for you,
Allie, from Scott.
Nice.
And that's the first I've seen it.
Nice.
Like, this doesn't make any sense at all.
Is it for the kids so that the kids think that you got her something?
No, I don't know why she does it.
1 year for Renee's birthday. So Renee's big on her birthday, obviously.
Yeah.
Right? We've established this. So 1 year on her birthday, like I hid the presents because I had to go to work. Then I was working. I was a bouncer at the time, right? So I hid the presents. I come home, and it's like 6, and I got home at like 3, you know? So it's like 6 in the morning, and I hear something. She's fucking finding the presents and opening them, right?
Like a kid.
Like a child. And I looked at her.
You rewrapping them?
No, I'm looking at her, and I'm going, what? I was like, well, when you do buy somebody something, you like to be there.
Yeah.
When they actually open it. You know?
I'd like to see this.
You know?
Yeah. You're cutting me out of the deal.
Yeah. This isn't just about you.
All right. Well, I can't wait till we can update everybody about our Christmas experiences after this
Dude,
rambling.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get into a fight training mode for everybody right here after Christmas, aren't you? You got Katz and Gano coming up.
Neil fucking lost his fight. Neil's out. They took away Neil's Koscheck fight.
So Neil signed a new 4-fight deal, though.
Good
so
for him.
Cool. Neil Magny. And then Nate has a fight early in the year. Nate Marquardt.
Yep, Nate has a fight January 3rd, so he's in right now.
Yep. And then you have Matt Brown coming into town, right?
Yeah, but I won't work with him. He might come to practice.
And then Thatch has a fight here in Denver on Valentine's Day, which is a really big deal for him.
Yeah.
So first fight back in a little while.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Vinny about this the other day. I fighting in Denver for him, like I don't like that for him.
I don't either.
You know, I wish he was going somewhere else.
I don't like fighting in your hometown in the first place.
Yeah.
Because when you fight okay, I think we've explained it before, but I'll explain it again. When you fight for the UFC, you come in on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Whatever day you fight, you come in 5 days before.
Yeah.
Right? So let's just assume a Saturday fight, so you come in Tuesday or 4 days before it is, right? And your coach comes in too. You know what I mean? Like your pad holder and everything now is about you.
Right.
You eat together. You work out together. You know what I mean? When you fight in your hometown, everyone's just at their house.
Yeah, they're doing their thing.
And you call them up and be like, "Hey, does 3 o'clock work?" Or because those guys are still got their normal life going on.
You can't kind of adjust on the fly.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when we were there with Cody, like he would kind of go back and forth. I think I want to go train or roll, or maybe I don't, or I'm not feeling like
Mm-hmm.
So then you
have to schedule it, and no matter what, you're going.
Yeah.
Because everyone else has made their day that day, you know, and planned it out. So I don't like fighting in.
Yeah.
I didn't like it when I did it, and I don't like it for the fighter.
Fights on Saturday were good, really good fights. Submissions.
I only watched one. I only watched Brendan's.
Yeah, and so Vinny and I went to BW3 to watch them. And there was a bunch of football games on, so it was just overstimulating.
Sure.
There was just all these championship games on and stuff. But people were flipping out about the decision with Lawler and Hendricks, including Vinny and I. But then I was getting texted by Cody and some other guys going, "No, that was a good decision." So I don't know if you heard about it, but so Lawler took the belt from Hendricks.
Yep, I know it happened.
And Lawler maybe won the first round. He came out hard, almost knocked Hendricks out in the first 30 seconds. But then the round kind of evened out. And then rounds 2, 3, and 4, I gave to Hendricks clearly. He was working combos.
So you just disagree on 4.
5 was definitely Lawler's. And I don't know who gave 4 to Lawler.
Everybody did.
I know. So maybe me and Vinny got caught up and we were just talking and missed round 4 or something. Because it did feel like it was a foregone conclusion that Hendricks was going to win at that point. So maybe we weren't paying as good of attention. But Hendricks did his typical, like he went for takedowns at the end of every round and got them just to kind of seal the deal.
Yeah.
And so when they came down with that decision, we were mind blown.
I have to watch it.
I was kind of happy because I wanted Lawler to win. But it was it was a crazy fight. And then Schaub's fight did not go well for him. That was a terrible, terrible matchup. I felt like he was getting fed to Brown. They needed Brown back on track to be a contender, and
he is.
Yeah, he's a legit contender.
He is. Brown got what he needed for sure.
He got what he needed. And Brendan gave up. He got mounted 2 or 3 times.
He was hurt already.
He was already hurt. That uppercut really.
Yeah, that uppercut hurt him, and then that. Didn't look good,
I would think Schaub they're going to maybe give him one. They'll give him one more, and if he loses that one, he might be done.
Who knows?
Be in trouble.
Who knows? He is kind of a name. A name.
Yep.
Yep. He is kind of a name, so you just never know. You never know what they're going to do. Yep. Like it's
They signed a deal with Reebok.
They did.
The UFC did. So CrossFit and Reebok and the UFC and Reebok.
Yeah.
All my worlds are coming together.
Nice. Yeah. We'll see what happens with that. We'll see how much money the fighters get.
It's weird because it takes away their ability to put their sponsors on their shirts.
Yeah, you can't. The fighters now can, starting in July, they can have their own sponsors, but they can't advertise their own sponsors in the fight, right?
Can they put their sponsors on the banner?
No,
not even on the banner.
It's gone now. All that's going to go away.
Wow, Reebok better be handing out some money then.
But they are.
Yeah.
But we'll see who's going to get it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Fighters really end up.
And they have it a tiered system. Like fighters ranked 1 through 5 get this much, 6 through 10. And then 11 through 15, but then everybody under 15 is this.
Yeah.
But I don't really care what that is, what the 15 and up is. I want to know what the under 15.
Yeah.
Because if it's like $2,000, what the you know what I mean? Like they were making more than $2,000.
Hmm.
But I understand why the UFC did it too. Like I'd probably
Yeah. Well, a lot of fighters end up with sponsors that don't give them money, and they got to go chase the money down, and it is kind of a free for all a little bit too.
It is kind of a free for all, but still.
You're taking a lot out of the fighter.
Man, if you give John Jones $300,000, he's stoked. That's a lot of money, right? But it doesn't really change what he's going to do on a day-to-day basis that much. If you take $5,000, if you take $5,000 away from, if you take $5,000 3 times a year away from this kid that only makes $70,000, so now he's making $55,000. That changes his life a little bit. You know what I mean?
That's true.
That's it. Where are we at? What time is it?
Yeah, I got a bail.
You got a bail?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
40-minute episode?
40-minute episode.
40-minute episode.
Yeah,
all right.
Christmas edition. So throw it out to the Facebook folks. Tell us about your best and worst, Christmas experiences.
Yeah.
Like anybody else having problems with lights or relatives or... Okay, so best Christmas movie, real quick.
Best Christmas movie?
Yeah, the one you have to watch every year.
No, but when I was a kid, it was the Tiny Tim. What's that one?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Christmas Story.
Christmas Carol.
Yeah. And there was one. I know there was one that I liked. I don't even know which one it is.
We watched some creepy animated version of that the other day.
Yeah.
Creepy, man. Really creepy.
Yeah.
I thought Silas was going to end up with nightmares because he's been having them lately.
I don't have. We don't. My kids aren't quite old enough. Kanan is. But.
My kids have to watch Elf.
Okay.
They love Elf, so we watched it like 3 times already.
The only thing Simon has to watch is goddamn Mickey Mouse.
Really?
All day long.
Like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse?
It's Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yeah,
Come inside, it's fun inside.
Yeah, there you go. Silas watched that for a little while.
Dude,
We have to watch Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
We've watched it 2 or 3 times already. But it is interesting because if you watch the TNT version for a little while,
right,
and forget about the old school PG, and then you pop in that DVD, and I did this a couple of years ago with Eli when he was like 4, and Landry was 6, and we get to there's a couple of lines in there, man, where Clark Griswold's have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby danced with Danny fucking Kaye, and you're just like, whoa, hey, it's like didn't see that one coming, and then there's the little speech like.
If any of you are looking for any last-minute gift ideas for me, I have one. I'd like Frank Shirley, my boss, right here tonight. I want him brought from his happy holiday slumber over there on Melody Lane with all the other rich people, and I want him brought right here with a big ribbon on his head. And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is! Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol? And then when you're watching on TNT, you don't get any of that stuff.
That stuff won't matter in my house. My kids hear fucking shit all the time.
That's weird stuff though. We're watching it on the TNT version the other day.
Yeah.
And there's Clark's dad's talking about how he used to cope with Christmas, and he says, "I had a little help from my friend Jack Daniels." They edited out Jack Daniels.
What?
Just like nothing.
What
I had a little help from my friend.
I wonder if they can't pay if they didn't pay him for it or something. I don't know.
You should be allowed to say Jack Daniels, right?
Yeah.
Or drink it.
Well, yeah. You should do better than that. Yes.
I did get some nice bourbon that helped me through things.
What'd you get?
Yeah.
You don't like bourbon?
No, man. I've gone the other way. I'm not.
I tried to make you like
I
bourbon.
put the whiskey down. I know. I'm not a pussy anymore. I
Okay.
fucking.
Well, what did you get?
I put on my big boy panties. Breckenridge.
Oh, that's jeez.
You don't like
I don't
it?
like the Breckenridge.
What?
Do you like the Breckenridge?
It's the best. It's the best one, I think.
It's way good.
It's the best one.
First of all,
passing a taste test lately.
First of all, it's from Breckenridge. That's
this
sacrilegious.
is just the guy.
No, it's actually made in Indiana.
The first batch I have is terrible, and I haven't had any since. But that was way back in the day.
So what do you doing Wednesday? I'll come over and help you with your lights. And then we'll fucking sit there and fucking drink some whiskey out on your roof and see if we can get our asses back in.
That sounds good. All right. The bourbon edition coming up next.
Coming up next.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Have a good. Hey, hold on.
Hang on, wait.
Merry motherfucking Christmas to all of you.